Well, I'm batting 1,000. Last month when I talked, I broke down right after the song.
Gonna do it again today?
I'm batting 1,000. God, I freaking love this job. Oh my gosh. Well, if you haven't noticed, I love music. And a while ago, I did a talk about 88 keys. Using the piano, and the 88 keys are on that keyboard, gives us an infinitesimal amount of music, which is us, the expression of spirit. And so, what is your tune? And I picked this song, and I know it's not conventional. Wow, I didn't even need a bump for that one. But I know that spirit is in everything. And if any of you know me, I'm always talking about that aspect of spirit. That you don't have to find it in this book or that book. It's everywhere all around you. And so I'm putting it to the test today by doing my talk about that song. As we start out in life as young adults, there's a sense of being on top of the world, that everything is possible. Billy Joel's song begins when this idea starts to fade away. It's also a time that people start searching for some kind of spiritual meaning. Isn't that true? As children, we grew up having fantasies about who and what we were going to be. You know, I was going to be a fireman one week, and I was going to be a jet pilot the next week. And I just loved life. I loved waking up and getting out of my bed and not coming home until the streetlights came on. But then life kind of happens. You know, I got to pay bills. I've got things I've got to do. And those dreams, those aspirations start to fade away. And so this song kind of represents that. And I kind of like how Mr. Joel, or Billy, let's just call him Billy, how Billy created the song. And do you realize, okay, we want to see how old we are? That song was back in 1973, so that's 51 years ago. I swear, I can't be that old. No, it's impossible. Miracles do happen all the time. The first verse portrays the idea of just going through the motions of life. The regular crowd shuffles in. And I kind of like how it started off like that. Here he is playing at the bar, and just it's the same thing. Day after day, we're just coming in, and people are shuffling in, and they're trying to forget their problems or just get through that day. It's like being on a treadmill, isn't it? How often have you felt that your life seems like that song right there, that you're being on a treadmill? Is it because you've lost that spark of that inspiration? Sometimes that may be a good thing, losing that spark. Are you really doing what's in here? What is your passion? What do you love to do? Sometimes life gets in the way. Now, John at the bar is a friend of mine, but there's someplace he'd rather be. Bill, I believe this is killing me, as a smile ran away from his face. Well, I'm sure I could be a movie star if I could get out of this place. A sense of being stuck. Have any of you ever felt that? I know I have. Thank you for a show of hands. Can I get an amen? Amen. Hallelujah. I'm telling you. But that's life. Not the capital L, the Spirit of God's life. That's the relative life that we've created, that we've bought into that idea that this is life. What a crock that is. This is life. And we're buying into it daily. I've bought into it. Hell, I bought into it 2 days ago. Thank God I had the receipt to return it. Oh, she's not looking. I guess she like that one. My wife thinks I don't know how to tell jokes. The greatest discovery of my generation is that a human being can alter his life by altering his attitude of mind. That's Ernest Holmes. That's the founder of this philosophy. And believe me, we bring in all sorts of philosophies. We're not just what do they call it, a one-item menu restaurant. We have the diversity of all life, all faiths, all religions are here. You pick and choose what works for you. And Ernest Holmes was the founder of this philosophy, and he brought all of this together. But it puts it on each and every one of us to create the life that we want. There are no victims in this restaurant of life. There are only orders to be placed upon spirit. The piano man is there to play the songs people want to hear. Spirit does the same thing. It takes your request and creates the melody of your life. That's a pretty big order. And some of us might be going, yes, that's right. I'm living it. But there's others that are in here that might be going, that kind of blows. But that's okay. Because it's okay to have those type of feelings. Because ultimately, this place teaches you that the power of your mind is what Spirit is waiting for. It's waiting for you to impress upon it what life you want. So today, there's only now, today, if you don't like the order of your life, then make a new order. Stake it right here and now. Place that order. Get the waitress to write it down. Or waiter. Spirit only says yes. This is Thomas Troward, and I love him, but man, he is long-winded and sometimes kind of quirky as far as his writings, but that's what I love about him. He says this, because I am what I am, I may be what I will to be. My individuality is one of the modes in which the infinite expresses itself, and therefore I am myself that very power which I find to be the innermost within all things. I love that quote, and let's break that down. I may be what I will to be. Again, there are no victims with this philosophy. There's only results. Cause and effect. You don't like your effect? Don't complain about it. You change your cause. You change the impression you put upon Spirit, because Spirit can only say one thing, yes, and the demonstration happens. Other places call them miracles. We call them demonstrations. Why? Because they are the natural occurrence of life. They aren't miraculous in that sense. They are miraculous because we deem them so. But it's the natural way life truly is. Now, Paul is a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. And he's talking to Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. I used to think that was such a depressing song, how they are so stuck and lost. Or is it? As I was listening to this song, I realized, no, they've got the life that they want. Who am I to say that they are sad? Yes, from looking at their life, I'm like, oh, gee, poor them. They're kind of stuck. But they could be living their dream. Paul loves his job. He knows he's dedicated to it, and he doesn't have the time to put into having a wife and a family and all that sort of stuff. So guess what? He didn't have one because he knew his limitations of what he could and couldn't do, or better yet, what he did or did not want to experience. I mean, we can go down that rabbit hole. Maybe he had a father who worked in the coal mines or whatever and never saw his dad. And he never wanted that to happen. Never wanted to have a child who had that type of childhood that he had. So he's being authentic. He's being true. So isn't that a wonderful thing? And then Davy, who's in the Navy. I know a lot of people who are in the military, and God bless them. I mean, I was raised in a military family, and I was supposed to go to the Citadel and all that sort of stuff, Army-Navy game and all that, and I just knew it wasn't me. I put my 20 years in, and I retired a major military brat. The military people get that one. I like that one too. But it's wonderful to see a song that I used to look at it a certain way, as being sad and depressing, as now it is uplifting, because now in seeing a verse through my eyes of what I think good and bad is, I'm now seeing it as the infinite possibilities of spirit and life itself. Yes, my life is mine, but yours is yours. And who am I to say that yours is bad or good, or you to say the same about me? If we're enjoying ourselves, that's all that matters. What you think about me is none of my business. Don Miguel Ruiz, The Fifth Agreement. I'm going to try doing some reading here. Again, I love talking about spirit, and even Dr. Joe taught me this, how it's always there. It's not just here on Sundays, and believe me, we love you coming here. We love to do this on a Sunday. And in fact, please, afterwards, if I haven't already talked to you, and I've talked to a lot of you, we're having karaoke after Sunday service today. If you think I'm good here, wait till you see me sing. But Dr. Joe and Dr. Dale and Dr. Laura, she's busting at the seams. They always put God to the test. And just, so this morning I was just flipping through the book and I just stopped at a particular page. And this is what popped out to me. Those who are not yet wise are searching for perfection. They are searching for God. They're searching for heaven. They are trying to find it. Where there's nothing to search for, it's already here. Yeah, where'd I go? Everything is within you. You don't have to search for heaven. You are in heaven right now. You don't have to search for happiness. You are happiness wherever you are. You don't have to search for the truth. You are the truth. And if there's one thing that you take away from this service, take that short sentence. You, each and every one of you, all of us, we are the truth. All right, so what's the next verse? Okay, even the piano man has a sense of longing, of being able to experiencing something more. They, meaning us, say, man, what are you doing here? It has two meanings, and I love this about myself. I love to see both sides of the coin in every situation, because then I get to determine where do I want to be on that. Doing here, man, what are you doing here? It's a place. What are you doing? What are you doing here? You're a piano man. You're this good and you're doing here? What are you doing here? Or it's an action. What are you doing here? I mean, come on. I just love how the English language can be so changed upon the context of our mental attitude about how we see it. And you see right there, that one sentence, do you see how misunderstandings can happen? Because two different people have two different points of view about one simple sentence, but they can mean totally different things. When you stop and instead of reacting to what is being said to you, how about you see that other side of the coin and maybe you find that there's not so much energy or passion or heat about what was just said. And we stay cool, we stay calm, and there's no boiling over. I like that idea. Each and every one of us are vitally important because we are the expression of Spirit. We are here to show Spirit a good time, and that's exactly it. I mean, I love this song because when you read it, when you listen to it, or read the lyrics while you're listening to it, in my case, when you come from life, from that spiritual aspect, everything is a message. If you open your heart, no, not if, when you open your heart to everything around you, not just an author, not just a building, but everything. Listen with love and understanding. Listen with that inquisitive self that we used to be when we were this tall. Or as my grandma said, knee-high to a stump. When we can rekindle that passion that we all have, that lust for life builds. Our attitudes change, and because our attitude change, Spirit can only say one thing, and that is yes. Then our lives change. It changes according to the context of our thoughts. And that's where the responsibility comes into it. And I know we talk about this week in and week out, but every single week there's something different going on. So sometimes we have to remind ourselves about who and what we are. We are the totality of Spirit right here and now. And so when you can come from that context and take a deep breath in, you now have vision on how you want this moment and the rest of your life forward to show who and what you are. Every day is important. The bad days teach us compassion to others, for we have gone through the same ordeal. The good days teach us to enjoy the journey. And I love that. That's a Williamism right there. Seriously, when you're going through the bad days, fine, go through them. Like Dr. Joe and everyone says around here, you don't build a condo. You're moving through it. You're not stuck in it. But the beautiful thing about the hard times, at least I can say for myself, it gives me context so that when I'm talking to a friend or to someone who needs help, I just might have context about what they're talking about, and I might have insight on how they can improve their attitude and their thought process to then change their life, because I'm not doing anything. As a reverend here, as a practitioner that's throughout here, we on a collective don't do a darn thing. We are just a conduit of that energy of Spirit so that we can show to you a reflection of yourself and who and what you are, that you have that power to change your life. By seeing it in us, we can be the example. By you being that example, you now are showing your friends, relatives, even strangers, the beauty of love, because there's always an energy around us. Haven't you ever noticed there's something about that person? There's an energy around them. It's true. Spirit isn't a person. It's an energy. It's a feeling. It's a vibration. And so when you are aligned with that energy, that passion, that perfection, you can't help but radiate out that vibratory field around you. And things that don't align with that vibration naturally go away. You don't have to get rid of them. And things that are attracted to that naturally come into your life. And so that's why it's so very important to be conscious about what we're thinking. So, the question is, what is your tune? How is your life going? Do you like it? If you don't like it, hit the next button on your iPod or your iPhone and play a different tune. Align with that music. The Piano Man is a great song to show the perfection of life. Yes, there's ups and downs in that music. But when that can show you the truth about how life kind of happens, but it gives you the ability to see that it's not a place of being stuck. It's a place of just making a decision. So what decision are you making today? What is the tune of your life? Buckle up, Buttercup, and enjoy the ride.